With it being a change of season this week, moving from Leo season into Virgo, we are finding that the energy of Leo, that vibrant, shining, fun, playful, adventurous energy, is starting to slowly make that transitional move into Virgo, who's way more organized, focused, practical. And although, judging by the weather here in Texas, you would never believe that it is almost turning into fall season, we're moving through that transition, it actually is happening. So we wanted to jump on and just create this episode to give you the tips that we see most people struggling with when they make that change and transition. When we go from that high vibing Leo energy into that more methodical, slow routine, kids are back in school, everything's starting to shift and change. And so we have to update our routines to make sure that we go with the flow.
Yeah, this is, I think, where a lot of people go wrong is they try to be the same person or try to live the same life all year long. They make it one morning routine. So they do that in the summer. The same morning routines happens in the winter. Same thing with the evening stuff. And that's not the way it's supposed to work, because summer, you're doing totally different things. I mean, the sun is out. The sun will be out here till 9 p.m. So we're up doing things. We're burning the candle at both ends because you can. I mean, that sun gives you a ton of energy. And as we move into the fall, you want to be thinking more about, like, what do I need now? Well, how's the routine going to change? How's it going to nourish me? How am I going to start doing a little bit different things? How can I spend a little more time with my partner? Because almost every opportunity we get right now, summertime, saying yes to, have to. I mean, there's so many things.
Sun's out, guns out.
Yeah, and if you don't like it, you always just leave. And so we're saying yes, yes, yes. But as fall starts to come in, no starts to come up more often, and we start to spend a little more time on what's going on with our relationship. How are we going to get away and have fun together? But have fun, just the two of us. So it's different. You have to start planning your whole life out seasonally. So your routines are going to change. How you speak is going to change. How you work, how that shifts should change. Everything, how we work. I mean, literally every little bitty piece of the pie changes. Just like, I mean, what food you have access to changes. You know, every little bitty piece is going to be different. And as you dial it in for yourself, what you'll notice is that the seasons are geared so that you do speed up during certain times. And then other times you do start slowing down. The fall's harvest season. I mean, this is like
everything you've worked hard for.
If you've been slamming it this year, this is the time of the year we should go, man, look at all that work that I did. Look at all that good stuff I planted in the spring. Look at all those good thoughts and ideas. When you think of your mind as a garden and you realize that you're consciously and continuously nourishing the thoughts and ideas, and those turn into fruit, those turn into things in your life. They turn into relationships and business ideas. If you've nourished them all year long, the fall should be one of the most exciting times, because you should be like, look at the abundance that is flowing my way. It should have been a struggle up to this point, right? It should have been work. It's always a struggle. I mean, that's just the way that it is. And so, like, as you start to tick into now, you just start seeing those benefits and go, oh, damn, I'm so glad I planted all those seeds. I'm so glad I met those people. I'm so glad I said yes. I'm so glad I was doing things, because now I can really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it's so important to take a moment to look back. I was just reflecting that we're over halfway through the year. We're starting to make that transition, and it's just blowing my mind to think back to even April or May. I had a client come in and she was like, so I know you always go on trips. Where have you been last? I'm like, oh, I don't know, trips. I don't know. I don't even think I've been anywhere since my goddess retreat. And then after she left, I was like, what the fuck? I went to Virginia in May. Like, I can't even remember how much shit that we do in the year. So it's like, it's incredible when you take a moment to stop and reflect on, well, how far have I come this year? So I want to challenge you to take a moment and tune in. Think about what was your intention, what was maybe your New Year's resolution at the beginning of the year, and now take a moment to sit back and say, wow, I really have been going after my goals. Or maybe you're someone who's like, well, I set intentions for myself, but that didn't happen. This is a perfect time to get clear on what's working, what's not, and revise the plan.
Yeah, and also you start to look in, where did you miss out on the self-care? Because a lot of times when we think about our goals and our hopes and our dreams, we always talk about our ambition or what we'll get out of life. We'll make more money, or we'll move to this place. But how often do we pause and look, what did I do for my self-care? Like, did you go on those walks you're supposed to? Did you show up for that gym class? Did you go to yoga? Were you journaling? And if you haven't been, this is the time to even more start dialing that in. This routine that you should now be creating for yourself, this fall routine, should be something where, what am I going to give to me first? So that I can start showing up a little bit differently, so I can nourish myself and then really, really give to other people. What's going to be that one thing? And I will say that don't let it be the exact same thing that you just did. So if you have been journaling, add something else on that. Maybe it's 5 extra minutes of meditation. Maybe it's just something added on so you give yourself an extra little spark. Don't be the same all the time. When you add in just a little bit, sometimes, like, so if I add in meditation, it makes the journaling a little bit better because I've had a little bit different time to think about things. I had a little bit different breathing exercise. I spent a little bit more time with myself. And as you add in just a little bit of those things, what you'll notice is that it brings up the quality of everything else.
Yeah, I think as we live by the 7 or above rule here at the Elevated Life, I think we could use that in our assessment of our goals and where we're at. And most importantly, our consistency. So I want you to use the 7 or above rule, 1 being not good at all, 10 being absolutely amazing, and ask yourself this very important truth. How consistent have I been towards my goals, my self-care, building the elevated life that I want? How consistent have you been on your goals thus far this year? On a scale of 1 to 10, take a moment to assess. Have I been showing up consistently for my workouts? Have I been showing up consistently for my meditation or yoga? Have I been showing up consistently in my relationships? Have I been showing up consistently for my own self aside from the body? Have I been showing up and doing the creative projects that I said I was going to do, or the things that I wanted to get myself into? Take a moment to assess on a scale of 1 to 10, how consistent have you been with your goals? I think it's important to talk about consistency. Chris asked me, okay, you've had thousands of women go through Shine School now. What's the number one thing that they're lacking? What is that one thing they're missing? I'm like, consistency, because we all know to take care of ourselves. We all know we need to move our ass and drink the green juice or journal or, get in touch with our feelings, but it's just not committing to the habit of actually doing it. So that's ultimately what created the Shine from the Inside Oracle. I wanted to come up with a way to inspire people to be more consistent towards their self-care rituals. So I started thinking, what have I been the most consistent with over the last decade when it comes to my self-discovery work? And journaling and tarot and oracle cards are at the top of the list. I will skip yoga and meditation, but I will not skip the cards. Like, they come on every trip with me. There's just not a day I don't read. And if I do, I'm like, everything's off. I don't know what's happening. It's like I missed the date with myself that I've been so consistent with. So I built the Shine from the Inside Oracle deck around the lessons that I teach in Shine School, which, if you haven't been a part of that, this is going to be the time, because as we're moving into this fall season, I thought, what's the thing we struggle with? And if we're halfway through the year, maybe there's some goals or some self-care that we've been slacking on. Now is that time where I'm going to be opening the doors to Shine School. I haven't done this in years. Isn't that crazy? Like, we have not done a live launch of Shine School in years. We have women go through the program, but I haven't just publicly announced we're going to do this together, because I have been working very hard this summer on staying consistent with my physical movement. And so I'm over here using Chris as my accountability partner, but I know that my Shine Tribe Sisterhood, the elevators, I know that you guys could probably use a little bit of that consistency and that support and accountability. That's why we created the Elevated Life Membership Club. So I thought, what perfect time during this fall transition season to really focus and dial in. Let's Virgo it up. Y'all know how I feel about Virgos, but let's Virgo it up and get focused and clear on taking care of ourselves. So next month, I will be opening the doors to Shine School. But before we do that, we're going to dive into our 5-day live meditation. This self-care kickstart challenge is the most powerful series that I have created over the last 10 years. We use meditation. We use practical tools like pampering and orgasms. And we also work on the internal workings of our mindset and the story that we tell ourselves. So I'll be gearing up to do that 5-day live self-care kickstart challenge. So be on the lookout. You can actually go sign up for it now at brittanycarmichael.com/challenge, or just shoot me a DM and say challenge. Like, I want to be a part of that. We'll be doing that I believe the 2nd or 3rd week of September. So be on the lookout for that. Go ahead and get signed up for it, because this is something you don't want to miss. Having that live accountability. It's me. I'm showing up every day, fucking bells on, all the things, ready to be your personal cheerleader and pump you up, because we find that it's so easy to hit that cycle of self-sabotage when you're trying to make massive changes in your life. And I don't know about you, but all these eclipses and retrogrades and all the things are causing lots of transformation to transpire.
Yeah, it's so sad to watch people who went gung-ho, who grabbed the beginning of the year and said, yeah, I'm going for it. And they did it. They went out and they did the stuff, they met the people, they got in shape, they did all the stuff. And then you get to this part of the year and they start to slack. They're like, what? what is happening? As Britt said, it's that consistency. And I think a lot of people don't wake up to the fact of how important the self-care routine actually is. When you have good self-care, a lot of times your business thrives. Your relationship starts thriving, because what are you saying when you self-care? You're saying, I care about who I am. I care about how I feel. I care about nurturing myself.
I value myself.
That's different. So you start working on self-worth, and then suddenly that enables you to charge the price that you said, oh, I don't know if I deserve that. I don't know if I can have that, because my parents may have not made that kind of money, or somebody that I know is, they never made that kind of dollars, that they've never gone on that trip. They've never had first class. But now that you're taking care of yourself, you start going, why shouldn't I have it? Why shouldn't those things be introduced into my experiences? Why shouldn't I have more luxury and beauty around me? Those are things that I definitely deserve. And so it's that feeling. It's just that coming to yourself every morning or every night, wherever you put your self-care in, and just going, damn, now that I've been given to me for a while, it's totally okay. And you'll start to notice your friends will treat you different. People that you meet randomly will treat you different, because you have a different respect about yourself. And
well, you'll only tolerate what you to the level that you treat yourself.
Huge on the boundaries. The other thing that we're doing that's really big this year, and we've been doing this the past few years, and it's really worked. So I'm continuing to one other tip really big, and that is start meeting people. Use the fall to nurture relationships. We're talking about nurturing yourself during the self-care challenge. The other thing you want to do is start nurturing relationships with other people, because the sun's going to start going down earlier. You're going to have a little bit more time, especially people that live further across the pond. If you've got further people away, call them up, FaceTime them, do something. We have technology now. No one is unreachable anymore. And so what you want to be able to
Except
do.
you.
Oh my gosh, that's true. But what you want to be able to do is start tuning into new people. I tell you, every single fall, Britt probably meets 5 to 6 really amazing people. Really, really, really amazing people. And it's been happening in the fall time every single year.
Well, it's because we choose to go to retreats and conferences in the fall, and that's how you meet that high level community. So we're very excited, because just like you guys, we also get stagnant in our growth, and we have to make sure that we're constantly putting ourselves in the right environment. And although we're teachers here in the Elevated Life, and for the last 6 years, we've been showing up every month to coach you and guide you through those meditations, yoga, mindset, all the things inside the club. But sometimes we need that spark and that invigoration. And we're just so grateful to be able to spread that energy to our members inside the Elevated Life Club. But we have to do the work in order to constantly push ourselves to new depths and new heights as well, getting deep and vulnerable with ourselves and our truth, and learning more wisdom, but also elevating beyond past versions of ourselves and giving ourselves permission to be reborn, if you will. So this September, we're very excited, because we're doing 2 major things. We are going to the Brendan Burchard Coaching Summit that's happening I think it's September 13th through the 14th, or no, 17th, 15th, I don't know, some numbers in September. It's down in Austin. Many years ago, we went to Brendan's live Experts Academy and High Performance Academy. We are true fans of the way that he teaches on how to move your message and share your message. It's not the skeezy marketing tactics. It's just knowing that when you have a message, it needs to be shared with the world. And we're so excited, because I don't think, when was the last time we went to one of his conferences? Like 2018, 2019,
Further back.
Maybe 2018. I don't know. It's been a minute. So when I got the email from Brendan, it was not on my radar at all. And this is also, when opportunities come up, is it a full body, nipples hard? Fuck yes. When I got this email from Brendan, hey, we'll be in Austin in September, I looked at Chris, like 3-hour drive. Let's go. I signed up immediately, cleared my calendar, and we're committing to that. And I think that is how we're moving in, that what we talk about transformation and moving through the season. That's one of the changes you're going to have to start paying attention to, is how your body feels in the present moment. We're not going to be living out in the future. Okay. And we're not going to be hanging out in the past. We need to be present. And to do that, we have to get in tune with our body and trust the responses and the energy that comes up. When I opened that email, it was like a, hell yes, you're going. I booked it. No questions, the hotel, all the things. It took me less than 30 minutes. And I've been spending 3 months trying to pick the next couples retreat spot, because it just hasn't felt right in the body. So I think it's so important for you to pay attention to what your body is telling you. Is this right for me? Does this feel good? And just start taking action, move forward. It's not enough to just know that we need to take care of ourselves. We need to know that we have to do the work. Opportunity knocks and work answers. I think Brendan shared that before.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, if you've never gone to a conference before, or if you go to a conference and you're one of those people that hides in the corner, you sit way in the back, you don't talk to anybody, you're missing the opportunity. The opportunity is not with the instructor. Brendan is amazing. I mean, the guy is an incredible salesperson, a big heart, but a lot of the big people are. A lot of people put on really great I mean, they do big get-togethers, and it's incredible, like every part of it. But the big thing is the people that show up. The value in any conference are the people that show up in the audience.
It's who you go and network with.
The speaker on the stage is just a reason for us to get together.
They're the conduit and container of bringing people together.
Who you meet there and the conversations that you have there will spark things that you could not have planned. And the value is always worth it. I mean, it's even going to our retreats, going to any kind of retreat where you even just give yourself time and space away. It's still the people there. The people that you meet at the retreats, the people who have said, I'm going to take time away from my life, away from my kids, away from my partner. I'm going to go do this thing. And I'm going to be here for a certain amount of time and just be me and let myself rest and let myself repair and do all those things. It is incredible the amount of growth that you get out of just a couple of days. I mean, it's like a hardcore container that when you leave there, you feel change. And you feel change because the people that you met, there are two people that you need to meet. Two people. One of those is that people who can help you. So you want to find someone who is further along in whatever thing you want to be and whatever you want to be doing. So you want to be healthier, then you find somebody who's healthier than you. You want to get that person who is you're saying, oh damn, they've been doing this for quite a few years. They probably know the mistakes I'm gonna fall into. They know where the trip ups are gonna be. You want to meet that person. The second person that you want to meet is the person who you can help. You really want to be able to meet a person that you can help, who you can teach. So where have you been struggling this whole year? Like where was the struggle that you've overcome? And so that you can help that person as well. It's really important to constantly be looking for those people, and you hear it in the conversation. You don't just go out and say, hey, who's got mama drama? That's right, I overcame that this year. Mama drama is not a problem for me anymore. Anybody with mama drama is fine. That's not what I'm talking about. You ask real questions. Like what's been going on in your life? Tell me more about yourself. Tell me more about your. You start to listen. And it's in that listening where you end up coming, oh shit, I've actually come up with that I know exactly what you're talking about. Let me tell you exactly what I did. Let me show you some of the steps that I've taken. And so when you start to teach stuff, what ends up happening is that you realize that you are a bit of an authority figure. And that authority figure leverage gives you confidence. And that confidence inspires you to create. So we're looking for that relationship to get you on that creative journey. And maybe not even a business that you're in right now, just feeling like, oh, damn, people want the advice that I have makes you better in your business because you have that confidence now. You're like, I just helped that person. Holy smokes. Had we not met, had I not flown out here, had I not driven out here, that would have never happened. I would have never been able to touch that life. And that's what we're all geared to do. That's why when big stuff pops up like this, it's a no-brainer. It's like, yes, we absolutely have to be there because I know we're going to make a difference. I know that there's going to be people there that make a difference in our lives. And so there's this big reciprocation that happens. The business aspect of it is really incredible too, because it opens up your mind to what other people need. A lot of times when you're sitting in the office or you're sitting at the computer and you're playing keyboard cowboy and you're like, oh, this is what people's problems are and this is what people need from me right now. It's not it. And it's not it because you're disconnected. You're thinking everyone is just exactly like you and we don't always need all the same things. You have to get out and talk to people. You need a warm-blooded human being you can look into their eyes and you can see what they love. You can see what they fear. It's that different kind of connection. And when you have that connection repeatedly, you start to go, okay, that's where people are right now. Let me show up when I get back home and let me serve. It reinvigorates you with that energy. And so when we do that in the fall, it's not that we immediately come out with a product in the winter. It doesn't happen. It's getting the juices turning. It's getting the subconscious mind to start massaging it. It's starting to open up conversations with other people like, hey, do you have this problem? I met this person at this conference and they had this thing. You know anybody? Is this a thing? And so you start to massage the idea. And by the time spring comes, I'm so ready to launch that idea. I'm so excited about it. So it's just following the seasons. And this time is a time to share with other people. This time is to double down on all your relationships, including yourself. Definitely sign up for the self-care challenge. It is incredible to see what happens with women when they start caring for themselves, especially in their relationships, and most importantly, in the relationships they have with their kids. Yeah. When you care for yourself and demonstrate to your kids, I care about myself. Mom, go get some massage because I need one. I'm staying up a lot all day.
It curbs the mom guilt.
Yeah, get rid of that mom guilt because you're training your kids like, hey, you matter. And when you feel low on energy or when things aren't going exactly right, you need to go get some help. You need to go. Maybe you need to go jog. Maybe you need to take a walk. Maybe you need to sit by a pond. Maybe you need to read a book. Whatever it is, you're showing your kids. When things arise in my life, I don't put them on the back burner. I bring them up to the front because they're important so I can still go back out and serve. And so every time you're saying that to yourself and every time you're doing that in your life, it sets a different tone. So let this fall be a time where you start concentrating on, how do I feel? Who are those two people that I need to go out and meet? How am I going to show up for them? When someone is going to be there that calls me and say, hey, I need your help on this, how do I show up? I'll give you one quick tip, though. It's a quick tip. Actually, Brendan gave it to us at the conference. It was one of the smartest things. When you introduce yourself to somebody, someone asks you what you do, you don't just tell them, I'm a teacher, and that's it. You want to tell them, I teach people how to blank so they can blank. Does that make sense?
There's your elevator pitch.
I teach people how to something, whatever it is that you do. I teach people how to love themselves. So, I teach people self-care routines so that they can begin to love themselves, so they can get over the things that they've been worried about their whole life, so they become better partners, better lovers, better everything. Find out how to use that formula so that when you introduce yourself to people, people can already see the benefit of being your friend. It's so much easier when you turn into the conversation that way. So you don't feel slimy talking about your business. I know it's weird for a lot of us to talk about marketing, to talk about sales and all that. But when you introduce yourself this way, you start talking about it from a perspective of how can I show up and serve? Because that's the real thing we're all in business for. We're just serving. How can we serve in a better way? And when you talk to people, they go, oh man, I got a friend that could use that. I've got, it starts putting the sparks off. You're out there marketing and you're just talking to people. You're just being a friend. You're just offering a little bit of advice. It's so important for you to nail that first few minutes of conversation down. Have a pitch. Have a way that you always introduce yourself. Make this easy. Don't try and do it every single time and reinvent the wheel all the time. When you network, when you get good at networking, it's so easy to talk to people. It's so easy to meet friends. It's so easy to be a part of it all. But if you don't have it down, every conversation seems like a drag. And people are looking at you like, what are they saying? Just rambling. Get to a spot where you nail down the first 2 to 3 minutes of a conversation and you will definitely have it.
And I always use the question, what are you passionate about? That way I'm not asking, well, what do you do for your work? Because what I'm finding in asking that question to thousands of people is that they don't always align. And they should, which is why we do the work that we do. So here's what's up for September. Second Tuesday of the month, as always, we go live inside the Elevated Life Club. So if you're not a member inside our community, be sure to sign up. theelevatedlife.com/club.com/trial will get you a 14-day trial into the club so you can check out over 60 master classes from mindset to meditation to success, spirituality. We have covered it all over the last 6 years, but it keeps on growing. And Chris is always like, we're going to run out of topics, but yet every month we have something coming up. And this month we'll be covering self-sabotage. So this is a very important conversation we'll be having second Tuesday of the month. As always, there's a replay once you become a member, so don't worry if you can't join live. But obviously, we're so fun live, so make sure you join that. Then that evening on the 12th, we'll be going to McKinney for my Goddess Gathering New Moon, which is very exciting. We'll be doing a new moon manifesting ritual. Last month, we had over 150 women at the Burn the Bullshit Full Moon Goddess Gathering. So I have a feeling that this month is September is going to be freaking epic. So make sure you bring your friends. We're going to be manifesting all the magic. We're going to be planting seeds together. Then that week is when we head off to see Brendan down in Austin. So coaching conference for us to up-level our skills, to meet community. And then what's even more exciting is this is like side note, I wasn't going to share this, but we're going to see Tyler Henry, Hollywood medium. So I'm very pumped about that. So up-leveling my psychic skills. Then we're going to see Fleetwood Mac cover string quartet band, like very pumped about that. Date night. And then we will be teaching at the best plant-based conference ever by my friend Brooke Ali. She's hosting it in Richardson, Texas. It's the first annual, and we're so excited to be speakers and teaching on how to make those transformational changes in your life and mindset stick. This is going to be a really fun experience to be included in a plant-based community because, as you know, Chris and I have been vegan, plant-based over the last 10 years. So this conference is like perfectly aligned. And then from the plant-based conference, we're literally packing our bags, taking them with us to the conference and flying out to Orem, Utah, near Provo. My friend Sarai is putting this beautiful retreat on for hairdressers. So we're covering coaching conference all the way to a hair retreat so that we can make sure we're always infusing ourselves in new communities that help us to grow, that help us to share and serve. It's so important that you find the communities that align with your interests. Obviously, we're coaches and I freaking love hair and I've been a hairstylist for over 15 years. So going to hair retreats that are geared around wellness and taking care of yourself. Oof. I mean, it's a dream. So that will be going through October. So September is quite busy for us around here, which is why we wanted to pop on, create this episode for you to give you guys the heads up on how you can make some magic with us in September.
Yeah, I'll tell you though, too, the only reason why we can get this busy, and like I said, summers, we burn the candles at both ends. I mean, we go full bore all day, and it's only because when we're in this mode, when we're in that summer mode, we take so much care of our health. Our health is just literally at the very, very, very top of our list. I mean, the morning all starts out with health stuff. It's getting sunshine outside. It's getting good water in. It's getting the cardio in. It's getting the workout routine in. It's getting the yoga routines in. And it's doing that very, very, very consistently. Because if you haven't been working the body really well and you try and get a busy schedule, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You're going to be exhausted. Your body's not used to performing that much. And so we train really hard in the gym, in the kitchen, all this, so that we're able to perform, so that I'm not exhausted, because you can wear yourself out. And the worst things I see people, really good intentioned people, wear themselves out. They want to give too much. They want to give more than their actual capacity is to give. And so instead, what you want to be able to do is train your way into it. And that all starts with physical fitness. I cannot tell you how much we stress and how important it is. You see, we got big waters we're drinking. I mean, you have to treat your body like it's your temple. That way you can work from it. Because if it's diminished, all the output that you give will be diminished too. So fire yourself up. If you're ready for like a big change in your life, the very first thing that you should do, start working out. Get a good workout routine. Doesn't have to be hard. Doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to be a Olympia professional.
15 minutes a day.
15 minutes. That's all we're doing. A little high intensity interval training, 15 minutes. It's not that hard, but it's consistent and you just start to feel really good.
So what can you do to feel your best moving forward? I know that this episode was a wild, jam-packed, basically deep thoughts by Jack Handey, like what's going on in the Carmichael world. But I wanted to just bring this information to you, that knowing you're transitioning into Virgo season, knowing that we need more routine, we need more structure, we need to get focused on what is actually helping us move forward and ditch all the rest that isn't working. That's why we have 2 full moons in August. We got to let all the shit go so we can step into a brand new chapter. So I want to know, what chapter are you stepping into and what are you celebrating so far this year? Let us know by tagging us in the comments, sharing the podcast episode on social, or whatever you got to do to spread the good vibes. We appreciate you guys so much. And now I have to jump off and go hang out with Sarai, who's hosting the retreat. Talk about building community. It's so important that you just reach out. So many people are afraid. Well, what if I get rejected? Who gives a fuck? Just DM somebody that you like and say, hey, let's have a chat. You'll be surprised how often you get told yes versus the fear of no.
Yeah, if you're going to no, find somebody else. It's totally fine. There's lots of people out in the world. A lot of people will get what you want. Like, work it. Just continuously work it. Who cares about rejection?
All right. Until then, we will catch you later. Peace. Bye, guys.